Who are you? Not your name, not your job, not your trauma, not your accomplishments. Who are you before all the labels? Most spiritual traditions say you're a soul having a human experience. That's nice, but it's not complete. The Gnostics, a scattered group of mystics in the first few centuries after Christ, had a much stranger answer. They said you are a fragment of something called the monad. The monad is not God in the way you've been taught. The monad has no personality, no gender, no anger, no judgment. The monad simply is. It is the original, uncreated, infinite singularity from which all things, including what you call God, emerged. And here's the part that will change everything. The monad did not create the physical world. Lower, flawed beings did. The Gnostics called them Archons. The Archons built this reality to keep you forgetting that you're a fragment of the monad, because a fragment that remembers cannot be controlled. Let me give you the Gnostic version of creation, simplified. In the beginning, there was only the monad, a perfect, singular, silent awareness. Out of the monad emanated a series of divine qualities, like light from a fire. The Gnostic called these aeons. One of the lowest aeons, named Sophia, which means wisdom, wanted to create something on her own without the monad's direct input. She reached out and birthed the being, but because she did it alone, that being was flawed. That being's name was Yaldabaoth, and Yaldabaoth thought he was the only God. He said, I am the father of all. But he was lying, not out of malice, but out of ignorance. He genuinely didn't know there was anything above him. Yaldabaoth created the physical universe and a race of servants, the Archons. And then he created the first human bodies. But he couldn't give them life. So Sophia, feeling pity, secretly breathed a fragment of the monad's light into the human form. That fragment is you. That's your true self. It's not your body. It's not your thoughts. It's a spark of the uncreated source, trapped inside a material world designed by an ignorant God and his Archon servant. The entire goal of the Archons is to keep you distracted, fearful, and forgetful. Because if you remember you're a monad fragment, you can leave the matrix. Not in death, but in this lifetime. So how do the Archons keep you forgetting? Not through obvious chains, through consent. Every system of control in this world, religion that demands obedience, economics that manufacture scarcity, media that glorifies violence, education that punishes curiosity, is archonitic in nature. The Gnostics didn't see evil as a cosmic enemy. They saw it as ignorance structured into reality. The Archons aren't monsters with horns. They're energetic patterns that feed on your attention, your fear, and your belief that you are small. When you believe, I am just a human trying to survive, you are agreeing with the Archon. When you believe, I need to earn my worth, you are agreeing. When you believe, some people are better than others, you are agreeing. Every agreement is a thread, and those threads form a web, and that web is what feels like reality. But here's the liberation. You can withdraw your agreements. Not through effort, through recognition. The most powerful sentence in the Gnostic framework is not a mantra, it's not a prayer, it's I do not consent. Because the Archons cannot force you to do anything, they can only trick you into agreeing. Their entire power is borrowed from your belief. So when you say, I do not consent to scarcity, and you mean it, the Archons lose their grip on your finances. When you say, I do not consent to fear of death, the Archons lose their grip on your health anxiety. When you say, I do not consent to the lie that I am separate from source, the entire matrix shudders. I've seen this work in real life. People who revoke consent daily stop getting sick as often, money shows up unexpectedly, relationships that were stuck suddenly resolved, not because they manifested it, but because they stopped feeding the system that was draining them. The monad fragment inside you doesn't need to manifest. It already is everything. You just have to stop pretending it's not. Here's a practice from the Gnostic text, the Gospel of Thomas, one of the few that survived. Every night before sleep, stand in front of a mirror. Look into your own eyes, not at your hair, not at your skin, not at the bags under your eyes. Look into the eye and say out loud, I am not my body. I am not my thought. I am a spark of the monad. I do not consent to forgetting. Say it 3 times. The first time will feel silly. The second time will feel strange. The third time, if you really look, something behind your eyes will look back. That's not imagination, that's the fragment. Do this for 30 days. By day 10, you'll notice you react less to drama. By day 20, you'll have moments of spontaneous joy for no reason. By day 30, Archons will have to find someone else to feed on. This is not self-help. This is spiritual warfare without a single enemy. Just remembering, a warning, some people who do this practice feel worse before they feel better. That's the Archons throwing their last punches. Old fears resurface, old traumas knock on the door. That's a sign it's working. They're trying to get you to consent again. Don't. Just keep looking in the mirror. Just keep saying, I am a spark of the monad. You are not broken. You were never broken. You just forgot. And forgetting is not a sin. It's a survival mechanism. But you don't need it anymore. The monad doesn't judge. It doesn't reward. It doesn't punish. It just is. And you are a piece of that is. That's who you actually are. Everything else is a story. And you can put the story down anytime you want. Tonight, before you sleep, do the mirror practice. Then come back and comment one word, spark. I'll reply to every single one. And if you want the full 30-day monad remembrance, link in description. Subscribe. This channel is for people who are done forgetting. If you enjoy exploring deeper topics around healing, consciousness, and spiritual transformation, and self-awareness, I offer virtual coaching sessions designed to help individuals reconnect with themselves and create lasting personal transformation. You can find all session information and resources linked below. And if you like to continue supporting the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.